and welcome back to B&E Productions. I'm Ethan, and here we are with another review. And today's review is going to be about the Cybergun FN Scar L, or Scar Light. This gun's been called a variety of things, so let's get into it. Alright, so starting out at the front, this is a completely separate front end here. So to kind of preface this is built for a role in a movie completely. That was the whole reason this was kind of kitted out this way. So we got a suppressor, foregrip, and a ACOG / red dot sight. And that is mainly for looks for a movie. Those are not included with the gun. So let me go ahead and take this suppressor off. So this is an aftermarket flash hider and suppressor. This is the original, so it's the exact same thing, except it's either metal or polymer or something. I gotta say, this is probably the worst gun I have worked on in removing a muzzle device. I don't know if you can tell, but that is basically what I had to do to get this off. It took me like 4 hours to remove it. It's a complete pain in the butt. So that's just the nature of the beast. And it's not even that there was a pin or anything like that to remove. Or there might have been. I don't think there was. Yeah, I don't know. It was quite a while ago. There's either a pin to remove or there isn't. It was quite a while ago, but I just remember that it was one of the most just frustrating things I've done in a while. But it is threaded for 14mm negative, so if you want to go ahead and put a new flash hider on, you can. This is kind of a nitpick with this particular product. So this is a 14mm negative thread, but then when you thread on the mock suppressor, it's threaded positive, so you can end up unscrewing the flash hider underneath, so it's just a pain. But you know, we're all about looks here for the channel, so if you watched my using mock suppressors video, definitely you can get my point on this. But this is all for a movie. In a typical game, I mean, I would probably take that off unless I was really going for looks there. But yeah, so moving back, we kind of have the fake like adjustment for like the gas tube, or gas block, I should say. So that's kind of cool. Added a little feature. I mean, does it do anything for the gun? Not really, but it's a cool little feature. Moving up there, we have our front sight that is foldable. I gotta say, the sights that it comes with are great. They're that typical like FN style sights, and I think that they are awesome. Again, the only reason this is on here is for looks for the movie. These sights are perfectly usable, and honestly, probably could have just kept them off, to be honest, or kept the optic off. But yeah, we're just going for looks there. But yeah, these things are adjustable, and they come on the gun already. You can take this one off by an Allen key if you really wanted to, but I see no reason to. I just leave them on. So we get down to our rail here. We have a huge section of rail on the bottom, and then 2 sections on the side for lights, lasers, foregrips, etc. So kind of moving up to the upper receiver, this whole thing is like just one huge long piece. And it's kind of got that nice color to it, that kind of bronze tan color. The top of the rail is marked, so that way if you want stuff in special positions, you can totally just be like, okay, I know it goes on slot 25 or whatever. So getting down further back, we have our charging handle. And thankfully, unlike a lot of guns I've been reviewing recently, this activates the bolt catch, and it does work. We do have a dial style hop up instead of the rotary, so I do think that there is a room for improvement there, but this is still pretty usable. I haven't really touched it because during my testing it was pretty spot on for the distances I was shooting, so that's pretty cool. And then on the opposite side we have our bolt release, and it does work as I prematurely hit it. Let's see that again. And sometimes it doesn't lock back, and sometimes it does. I think it's just like a distance thing. But yeah, it does work. On the left-hand side here, we do have an ambidextrous magazine release. We have our bolt catch here. And then kind of flipping back around, we do have our standard magazine release that does have, like, part of the receiver is kind of built up around it so you don't like accidentally hit it, which is kind of cool. The magazine it comes with is a 300 round high cap, sturdy metal mag. Cool. Feeds well. It is tight, man. Like, you really have to yank it out of there. Will that kind of work down over time? Hopefully. But yeah, it's stiff. But kind of going to my other magazines, KWA 120. Fits and feeds well, drops out, no problem. Same thing, PTS, EPM. That is also a little bit stiff, won't just fall out, but nevertheless fits and feeds well. So that is just something to take into account, is not all of your magazines will drop freely. That could be a problem for some people. Some people probably don't care at all. But yeah, that is just something to note. I'll just edit that out. Okay. So, kind of going to our controls, we do have an ambidextrous safety selector. So down at the bottom here, we are on safe. One up is semi-auto, and then all the way up is full auto. And like I said, that is ambidextrous. They are the same size on both sides. So if you're a righty, but the way this is designed, it doesn't dig into your hand since it is higher. Typically, I use my thumb to actuate it on the right-hand side. So, yeah. So the right side is pretty blank on markings or anything like that. On the left-hand side here, we have the license by FN Herschel, and then their logo, serial number, and then we have some other stuff. Belgium, FN Herschel, L, Cal, 6mm. So just some kind of nice trades. And what I like about them is they are towards the rear of the gun, so they're not super flashy and in your face. It doesn't take up a whole like wall of text, which is nice. It doesn't take up a huge space, and it's like typically if you're mounted up like so, I mean the odds of people seeing it, I mean if you don't want people to see it, pretty slim. So get to our stock. It is adjustable. Got 6 different ways to do that. We do have a cheek riser. So this is a pretty cool thing, especially in Airsoft, because if you were wearing Face Pro or anything like that, you can kind of adjust this to where you can get it where your cheek weld isn't impeded by your face protection. One thing I forgot to mention as I was going through this, you do have sling mount points everywhere on this thing. So you got one here, and then on the opposite side as well. As we continue moving back, we have 2. So you can do a lower or higher here. On the right hand side, you have another one right here. So whether you are left-handed or right-handed, you have plenty of spaces to go ahead and mount a sling. So as we continue on here, here is the button for the cheek riser. I don't really mess with it, but you can if you wish. Here we have our button to fold our stock. So what's nice is it does have this nice protection for all your internals, so nothing gets snapped or pinched, which is a very nice touch here. And it's easy to actuate. It is a little stiff at first, but that's just the nature of it. It doesn't really like lock down, but really, I don't really think this is going to be like fired like this. I mean, if you're going into vehicles or you're moving through buildings or whatever, I can see the advantage of that. But really, I think this is just as well. But yeah, if you're moving through stuff, I mean, that could be a nice touch to have. So this is kind of one of the things that I don't like about this design, but I understand why they did it, is accessing the battery compartment. So you get this little pin here, and you pull this pin out, and you remove it, as I just launched it across my room. But you remove the the rubber butt pad, and then you have access to all this goodness. There's quite a lot going on in here. So yeah, you get this huge amount of space here. You get a long excess of wire. So you're gonna need a pretty thin battery. But once you get it all worked up in there, and then you go ahead and put the rubber pad back into place. Well, I'll already do one-handed and off the table, so I can try to show you guys. But that's just the nature of it. But yeah, you're definitely gonna need like a smaller battery. Get this upside down. Yes. So you do have to also make sure that it is aligned appropriately. So go ahead and put that back on. And magically I have this back in my hand. So you go ahead and push this back into place. But yeah, this isn't my favorite design. I understand why they did it, because it's such a skinny stock. I understand, but yeah, it's not my favorite, especially like as you just saw. Like say I had to change that in the field and I just lost that. Well, that sucks. One thing I forgot to mention, the grip is a standard A2 grip. If you've been following the channel for a little bit, you know how I hate A2 grips. So most people either sand that down or just replace the grip. So that's not too big of a deal, but yeah, I mean, that's just the standard way that this gun comes. But yeah, shooting it feels great. The rate of fire is good, and the FPS is also pretty good, and we'll put clips in now. 301, 324, 298, 301, 302, 301, 300, 301, 299, about 10, 11 rounds a second. So we just got back from the chrono and got some pretty respectable numbers. So yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty decent gun. For the price point and all the features that you get with it, and just how unique the Scar looks, that's kind of why we got this gun for the channel, is to have that unique look and just have something that feels good, shoots good, performs well. And I think this is a great either backup gun or starter gun, especially for the price point. And if you're kind of a more intermediate to advanced player, I think this is a good, can be a good primary. You just gotta, put in that time. But yeah, definitely I would say the only thing is just to kind of watch out for is just magazines, because kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any other questions about this or any of the other guns that I've reviewed so far, yeah, just go ahead and leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a great rest of y'all's day.